This is our nightly kick-around of all things World Cup. Peter Welton, Andy Swift, and Lars on World Cup Kick-Around. Brought to you by Pantalones Organic Tequila, The Wolf of Law Street, and Sports Radio 96.7 and 1310, The Ticket.
The Dutch on the move, the orange flooding forward. Here's Cody Gakpo, drops his shoulder, hits the shot, 4-0. Brilliant from Gakpo. The Netherlands are running riot. Dutch celebrations in Houston. 2 for Robbie, 2 for Gakpo, 4 for the Dutch.
Welcome to World Cup Kick-Around and our coverage of Match Day 10 of said World Cup here for Sports Radio 96.7 and 1310, The Ticket, where you, the good P1, sits around, drinks up all the World Cup and all that implies. Don't forget, you can find out all the details of how to catch up on any episode of World Cup Kick-Around after our broadcast via podcast on our website, thekickaround.com. I'm here. Andy's here.
Hello.
How are you today, Andrew?
I'm swell.
Swollen?
Swell.
Oh, swell. And
Peachy.
over there at the end of the table, fresh out of his super kick-ass alto, it is your favorite Norwegian author and journalist and mine, Lars Sivertsen. Howdy, Lars.
Howdy, Peter. How's it going?
I'm really good.
Yeah, because you're always asking us how's it going, but no one ever asks you.
That's okay. Nobody cares how I'm doing.
That's not true.
I mean, you do, apparently, because you asked.
We
but
care a lot, Peter.
I'm doing pretty good. So, let's see. We got a big day of action coming up. Sweden has already absolutely essed the bed.
They're still in the running.
Yeah, but I mean, we went into today's game all excited that they were going to give the Dutch a run.
No,
Yeah.
we...
Well, I think I did say
would.
that last night. I have a pretty...
last night, what did I say? That things are going to go back to normal in this group, and
Yes.
the Netherlands would show who they are, and Sweden was more about Tunisia being bad than Sweden being good.
Yeah.
I think I said that last
Though I
night.
will
But
say-
thanks for listening.
Though we will say that for the Swedes, they've lost 5-1, but they still have a goal difference of 0, so there's that.
Exactly. That's why they're still in the running.
Yeah.
Washed out, yeah. So, and then last night, goodness gracious.
Wow, that was World Cup After Dark again. These late night games, they all are
They've
kind of
all
crazy,
been
right?
really
yeah.
kind of good. I mean, there is some value to staying up past
Yes,
midnight
yeah.
to watch the World Cup.
They're making it worth the ticket for
I
sure.
guess is the only real bummer, terrible game been the Ghana-Panama late. Was that a late night?
Yeah.
That was
That was late, I think.
Was it?
Oh, no, it was
No,
it was before the show. We watched
Yeah.
it when it was... Yeah.
Yeah.
So last night, Turkey is playing Paraguay. And either one of those teams really need to win. Both of them were kind of quote unquote surprise losers in round one.
Right.
Turkey, again, I just want to remind everybody, was I think the overwhelming favorite to win Group D going into the,
They were probably,
especially the closer we got to the tournament,
Yeah.
more and more people just started pushing them as the favorite.
Yeah.
Right, Lars?
They were actually, the U.S. were narrow favorites on the betting markets, but big brains such as myself had Turkey higher. Yeah.
Yeah.
That worked out well for me.
Well, that's what I thought so too.
And the important thing about last night's game, too, is both teams wanted to win, obviously, to improve their chances of advancing, but a draw would have kept both teams very much in the hunt for advancement and even second place.
Well, I just want to point out that two things happened yesterday in soccer that I can now officially put into the things I've never seen happen in pro soccer before file. One, a referee go down with cramps and being stretched out by one of the players, which is what happened in the U.S. game. And two, a player being ejected from a game for covering his mouth to disguise whatever he is saying.
The first ever.
The
Yes.
first time ever.
You know, it had to be pointed out by a Turk, right? A Turkish player pointed it out to the referee, and that's how they got involved.
Maybe the VAR would
You
have caught
think it
it.
would have caught
I
it?
think at least
Okay.
VAR would have caught it. I have some sympathy. I mean, the funny thing is here that Almiron has now been the subject of 2 rule changes. He was the guy who flopped, dived, cheated, and it was brought back by VAR, and the decision was overturned, and he was given a card. And in this case, yeah, this is now a red card offense because we had this racism allegation earlier in the club season in Europe. And once you cover your mouth, the lip readers can't get involved, and it becomes very hard to prove. And there's really no reason to do that when you walk up to someone in a confrontation. The only possible reason to do it is if you don't want people to know what you're saying. So I actually think a straight red for that is fine. But it is one of those things that I think the players are just not used to it. I don't think there was necessarily malice with Almiron. I just think in the heat of the moment you forget about it, and it's an odd red card to receive. But that is the law now.
I mean, the FIFA meets with all teams, all players. They have a meeting, and they really stressed that this was going to be a thing. Players knew, but like you said, heat of the moment.
It's like Peter. Peter, you're an experienced radio broadcaster. You've done how many hours on radio in your life?
Sure.
You have at some point sworn and they've had to push the button to get rid of it, right?
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just get caught up in something.
Yeah.
And even though you know rationally that something is 100% wrong, you cannot do this in your role, but you have this like instinctive reaction to stuff. Like it happens to everyone.
Is this a wake-up call for all the other players? Now they're going to be like, okay, this...
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, it was eventually going to happen in the game. And I don't know what Almiron was saying. I doubt he was saying, those are really nice socks you have on today or whatever. Or I really like your shoes. I just don't want anybody to know I'm saying I really like your shoes.
Yeah, where are you going after
But
dinner?
I also I would be shocked to find out he was calling him a racist name or something like that.
I don't think anyone's suggesting that. And I think if that was the case, I think we would have heard about it from someone after the game.
But at the end of the day, whether you think the rule is a smart idea or a bad idea, everybody knew the rule going into the tournament.
Yeah. It is like the hair pulling scandal in the Premier League this season when you had a couple of players get a straight red for pulling of the hair. Like, you can disagree with the rule, but they were very clearly told if you pull someone's hair, then that's what happens.
Now, the Turkish player, he didn't hear anything racist. He probably didn't hear anything bad or understood anything. He still wanted to point it out because he wanted that red card, right?
Everyone does.
Okay, yes, of course. So you do things that you need to do to give you an advantage and win the game.
I also just say this game, is this the most CONCACAF match ever, in spite of not having any CONCACAF people in it?
This
Extreme
World Cup.
CONCACAF
No,
levels.
the referee was CONCACAF.
Yeah, okay, well, there we go.
What's that dude's
That's why it was very that's why we were saying it was
What is
very
that dude's
CONCACAF.
name?
Ivan Barrera.
Okay.
Barrios.
I've watched him referee an untold number of games in CONCACAF and probably outside of CONCACAF, and every single one of them turns into mass chaos. And that is the greatest indicator that a lot of this is the personality of the referee and what they do and don't allow and how they allow teams to accelerate and the fire to catch. Yeah. It just gets worse and worse. And once he lets it go, he is powerless to stop it.
Yeah.
There is also an element like Paraguay were absolutely desperate, both in terms of their position in the group and in terms of being a man down, so they are resorting to absolutely every single trick in the book. And Turkey, I mean, I would argue that the Eastern Mediterranean is kind of the CONCACAF of Europe in terms of player behavior and fiery tempers and tendency towards things descending into chaos. So I think everything was set up for a very CONCACAF-y moment. I don't like criticizing referees, as you know, but I think it's fair to say this one got away from him in terms of controlling the match.
Yeah, it's Ivan Barton from Elsa, but he refereed in the 2022 World Cup and actually did well, got more assignments into the knockout round.
Really?
So I don't know what happened. I don't know how he reversed.
Well, speaking of scandal, Turkey has now played 2 games. They have attempted 62 shots.
Yep.
62 shots.
13 on target and have scored exactly donut goals.
Yeah, and this, I think we talked about this yesterday. In the Australia game, they had 16 shots from outside the box. And again, if you're not a big soccer head, I have to tell you, shots from outside the box are bad. They are statistically not very likely to go in. Absolutely every analyst and every coach will tell the players, like, if you have great shooters, okay, occasionally they might have a pop if it sits up nicely for them. But by and large, unless you are an absolute elite ball striker, you should not be attempting shots from outside the box. They are just statistically no good. And if you have 12 in a match, that's really bad. That just means the team is not functioning. They had that against Australia and followed up with another 12 in this game. 32 shots from outside the box. To put that in context, the team in the Premier League that took the most shots from outside the box on average this season was Bournemouth with 5.6. So this is like a very high number at club level. Turkey put up 32 over 2 games. This is inexcusable nonsense.
62 shots without a goal, World Cup record in 2 games. And,
it has to be.
It is. And 32 shots without a goal in 1 game is a record. Is a new record.
32 shots from outside the box over 2 games is not a stat. It's a cry for help. And this is a sign that a team is extremely badly coached, I would have to say, because you have to sit them down and tell them after the first game, guys, we need a different plan.
Along with that, just the idea that you've hit 62 shots and only 13 of them were on frame.
Yeah, that's also bad.
That is wildly bad.
Yep.
So now the Turks, snooze. There are no more Turks.
Yeah, and this wasn't an inexcusable performance from them. I think getting blindsided by a solid Australian defense who were well organized and physically feisty, and if you don't get the first goal like the US did, then certainly that game can get out of hand. I can just about forgive that. But they came out of that game blaming the referee, talking about how they had loads of possession and were actually really good. Like, no lessons were learned at all. And that's what we saw in this game. It was more of the same nonsense, passing the ball around, not pressing the issue, not taking more risks in possession, not looking for openings. They were just kind of passing the ball around until they run out of ideas and shot from 30 yards. Nonsense.
So that means the U.S. has locked up first place in Group D, which means the game against the Turks has zero value on the outcome for the United States, especially if they do the smart thing and sit the 4 players they have on yellow cards.
Sit the yellows.
Let people rest. I mean, you could literally just throw out your B team out there and nothing is going to change because it does not impact, Andy, just to throw in to make sure that everybody understands. The U.S. could win, lose, draw, whatever happens by 100 goals. It's not going to change. That piece of it doesn't going to change where they're going to play the round of 32 or who they will play the round of 32.
Who they will play, that best third-place team or one of the best that they will play, will be determined by an algorithm depending on which groups advance a third-place team. So it has nothing to do with that. The other question, and we'll talk about this as we get closer to that game, if Pulisic can play and can see minutes, is there an argument to be made that he gets some minutes for continuity? Is there an argument to be made for that?
I think you rest people. I'm a big fan of resting them.
But Pulisic specifically?
Yeah, because that'd be 2 games without.
No, if he's been training alternatively for a couple of days anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Just be careful. I think that's better, and I think. Yeah, no risks is what I'd be much more interested in, like giving Gio Reyna serious minutes here.
Yeah. That for sure you want to see Reyna play. Yeah. I asked because Klinsmann, fellow European of yours, said that they should play Pulisic if he can play.
I don't trust anything that man says.
The list of things I agree with Jurgen Klinsmann on the subject of soccer is phenomenally short.
Yes. We all agree
and
are on the same page there.
The United States and South Korea stand by us on those.
Yes, correct.
But I do think there's been a lot of talk this morning about all the different permutations and the fact that did the U.S. do themselves a favor by coming in first versus second, and all the different potential outcomes of how this may play itself out. And to be fair to everybody, the way that FIFA has gone about determining this, because of the choice to go to 48 teams, has created this incredibly complex and confusing bit of math and a chart of 495 permutations that is almost impossible to explain to somebody easily.
The difference between first and second is that had they finished second, they would have played here, probably not against a tough opponent because it would have been second place out of the Belgium group. It could have been Belgium, but probably not. If they had advanced, the round of 16 would have been against perhaps the winner of Group J or the runner-up of Group H. The winner of Group J very likely is going to be Argentina.
Right.
So they avoid Argentina in the round of 16 or the runner-up of Group H, which also would be pretty strong. By finishing first, they have an easier path to the quarterfinals. And once you get to the quarterfinals, anything can happen, right? I mean, you can squeeze out a 1-0, whatever, depending on who they play. And the possibility of getting the semis is there. It would have been a lot tougher as a second-place team.
And I will also point out to everybody that while we are all sad-faced that they are not going to be playing their round of 32 game here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, this new path does include the potential of a semifinal at Jerry World on July 17th. That's just a potential outcome.
They'd have to get through either France or Spain. One of the
Andy, don't overcomplicate. Don't ruin everybody's. Don't harsh my buzz, Andy.
Excuse me, but if you do get to a semi, you will have beaten somebody significant.
Yes,
so that's how
why
it
not
works.
beat somebody else significant?
Exactly.
I'm generally very positive about the start that you guys have made in the tournament. There is a but coming. I have a feeling this moment when we are talking about semifinals and people are asking Ari if you can win the tournament and stuff off the back of beating Paraguay and Australia. I'm inclined
and
to
even an absolutely trashed turkey.
I am inclined to see that as a slight overreaction, but there is such a thing as tournament momentum. Confidence is important. Let's go along for the ride for a second.
All right, there you go. Before we go, it's time now for, let's make sure, do we have this ready in the sounders over there? All right, it's time for Andy's World Cup quiz question of the day.
So, Turkey, we've said it, holds the record for most shots without scoring a goal in a single game now with 32. Which player holds the distinction of having the most shots without scoring a goal in a single World Cup match? Which player? And here's another hint. He played in the 2006 World Cup in a game in which, before Turkey's debacle last night, a team also held the record or set the record for the most shots by one team without scoring a goal in a single match.
Okay,
so
that is such a complex question. Please repeat it.
The player with the most shots without scoring a goal in a single World Cup match.
Okay.
And in that 2006 World Cup, he also played in a game in which the team playing in that game set a record for most shots without a goal. The team that had the record before Turkey.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It happened in 2006.
But you want the player and the team.
Either or.
Oh, either or.
Give me either or.
All right. Wow. Okay, that's a lot. I'll have to think about it. Look at Lars. He's got his hand on his head.
One game record for most shots in a game without a goal. Player and team.
Okay.
Both happened in 2006.
Excellent.
In the same match.
This is a great question, Andy.
Yes?
I'm not going to get it, but it's a great question. I approve of this quiz question.
Thank you.
When it's all U.S. men's national team people from the mid-90s, my brain goes walkabout.
We haven't
but
done
really,
one. Oh, yeah, we did that one yesterday.
My brain goes
but
for a little
that one
walk.
was for Peter.
Take a nap. But this is really good. This is a great quiz question. It's hard to Google as well. I don't even know if you have stats from back then.
All right,
Google.
we got to go because
Don't
somebody's waiting for us on the phone. We'll come back from break. We'll talk to a guy that was there yesterday at the amazing scenes in Seattle with the U.S. men's national team. Jeff Carlisle from ESPN next on World Cup Kick-Around. Welcome back to World Cup Kick-Around. Andy, myself, and Lars are all here. We will get into the today, tomorrow, and Monday of the World Cup coming up over the course of the rest of the show. But first, let's keep talking about the Americans and their great performance that now has locked them in first place in Group D and having everybody feeling good about the red, white, and blue. And to do that, let's hop on the Diamond Factory ticket hotline and visit with our friend from ESPN. He was with the team and has been spending a lot of time covering the team for that outlet. It is our good buddy, Jeff Carlisle. Howdy, Jeff.
Gentlemen, how are you?
Well, I think as the American in the room, I'm feeling pretty good.
and well, you should. An amazing day yesterday. Just fantastic in all respects.
Since you were there, a lot of my fellow DFW Burn fan friends are not happy with me saying this repeatedly, but I'm really impressed and proud of Seattle for how they showed up for that game yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, just an amazing crowd. I mean, I think to those of us who have been there for big matches before, whether it was MLS Cups or a CONCACAF Champions League final, not surprised. But, when it comes to the U.S. men's national team, you never know. You never quite know what's going to happen. But certainly Seattle came out and supported the team in a huge way. I mean, the way they belted out the national anthem, I mean, I got goosebumps. That doesn't happen very often. And then, I think, Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer has become almost the unofficial anthem of the team at this stage. But just a great atmosphere, terrific support. And the players felt it too. I mean, they really appreciated just the boost that the crowd gave them. And I think in a game like yesterday where it was pretty physical, but I think the U.S. gave as good as they got. I think it made a difference.
So, Jeff, you obviously have spent a lot of time with this team, not just during the World Cup, but leading up to the World Cup. And I'm curious, if somebody asked you to write an article specifically about what has changed so dramatically about this team to produce these two performances, could you squish it down into like one clear thing?
I think time. I mean, I think that the team has been together for the last several weeks. And I think I mean, this was kind of what the Gold Cup was supposed to be a year ago. I mean, it was supposed to have that time, and they did get that time, to be fair. And I think guys like Alex Freeman, like Matt Freese, really did establish themselves as players that Mauricio Pochettino could count on. But I just think there's a cohesion and a chemistry there that we hadn't really seen previously. And to be fair, I mean, international windows are tough to establish that. I mean, it's 2 games crammed into, a 4 or 5 day period. There's not a ton of practice time. And so, I think over the last several weeks, Pochettino and his staff have gotten that time and really been able to kind of continue the process of getting the players on the same page. And I think we're seeing it on the field. It's just, I mean, the press has just been super coordinated, really effective, I think, in both games. Obviously, it's tough to do that for 90 minutes. And Australia, obviously, in the latter parts of the game, really, took some risks and tried to pile forward and get a goal back. But, just impressive the way the team has played together and competed together. And obviously the results speak for themselves.
If somebody held a gun to your head and said, name the best player on this team after 2 games, who would you anoint?
Ooh. I would have to say Balogun.
Interesting.
I think, he's really kind of been that missing piece. I mean, if they had Balogun 4 years ago, who knows how far they might have gone, but they didn't. And, obviously they ran into a Netherlands side that was very good and very talented. In terms of like an underrated guy, I would say Malik Tillman. I mean,
I agree.
He's kind of knitted the team together in midfield. Mm-hmm. He's battled on both sides of the ball. He's been full of clever flicks and touches in the attack, and he's put in the work defensively. And I got to be honest, I did not think he was capable of that. I mean, I hadn't really seen that with the U.S. men's national team. I mean, yeah, there were some good performances at the Gold Cup a year ago, but you kind of couch that and think, well, okay, it's the Gold Cup. The level of competition is going to be a notch or two below what they're going to see at the World Cup. And in recent matches, and even with Bayer Leverkusen, I hadn't really seen, a lot of dynamic play from him. And he didn't seem like he was playing with a lot of confidence. But now he seems to have a really good knowledge of his role, of what Pochettino expects from him. And I think he's been a missing piece in midfield that the U.S. team really needed. And so obviously lots of other good performances as well. I mean, Chris Richards has been fantastic. I think Tyler Adams was really good yesterday. I mean, he was kind of everywhere. And so, but again, kind of an underrated guy has been Tillman. I think he's been really impressive.
I'm kind of curious. In the run-up to this game, there was a fair amount of like sledging and trash talk, not from anyone involved with the team, but maybe like around people online and talking heads and stuff. It became like a bit of an online thing. Has anyone said anything about like, did that affect the mental approach to anything? Like, was that a factor, or do they just block all of that stuff out?
Yeah, I think this team has shown itself to be adept at blocking out the noise. I mean, I think some of that, I can say this because I am a member of the media. I think it was a little bit of a media creation. I think, prior to the Australia-Turkey game, Kahanalu was, he was saying some things that he shouldn't have said in the World Cup, and Australia definitely used that as bulletin board material. Mm-hmm. And so I think, trying to dredge up some 6-month-old comments and try to create some kind of narrative where the U.S. didn't respect the Australian team. I mean, I think that was a little bit of a stretch. And that's certainly none of that talk was coming from the U.S. camp. I mean, it wasn't coming from Pochettino. It wasn't coming from the players. I think the vast majority of the media, I mean, in the U.S. was showing plenty of respect to Australia. I mean, everybody viewed this as a tough game that the U.S. was going to have to play really well in to win. And so, I don't think that really played a factor at all. It was a physical game. I mean, there were some challenges early that I thought should have been booked. I mean, eventually the yellow card started to come out. But yeah, I mean, I think the U.S. was really focused on the task at hand, and I think that showed in their play.
So, Jeff, with the 4 guys sitting on yellows, we're assuming they're not going to see the game, this next game. So, any thoughts on the lineup and who he's going to play this match against Turkey? And did Pepe do enough to get another start, particularly since Balogun is sitting on one of those yellows?
Definitely. I mean, you look at what Pepe did yesterday, and yes, he didn't have a goal, he didn't have an assist. I mean, but he just worked his socks off. I mean, he was, we talk about the press. I mean, he was a big part of that. Both he and Balogun were really strong and full of energy and trying to make life uncomfortable for the Australian center backs. I mean, usually forwards kind of do that in a different way with their runs off the ball and what they do in the attack. But I think those 2 guys accomplished a lot in terms of, unsettling Australia with their defensive work. And so, when I think about Pepe, I think about the game that he played, against Senegal in the warm-up match. He has looked really sharp, and really, really excelled, and again executed the game plan and done what Pochettino wanted him to do. So, I think Pepe gets more time, and we'll see. I mean, Pochettino is, maybe not necessarily in this tournament specifically, but in the past he's thrown out some surprises. But I think Pepe has definitely done enough to get on the field.
So, Jeff, before we let you go, one more question. Now that you've seen these 2 performances, has this in any way changed your thinking about where this tournament ends up for the U.S.?
I mean, not really. I mean, before the tournament, I would have said the U.S. makes the round of 16. And I think that's going to be kind of the dividing line, I think, between really getting people excited and maybe not, because, they're going to have to play a team like a Belgium, I think, in that round. I mean, granted, the form book doesn't always get followed at a World Cup, but if they have to play Belgium again, after watching what Jeremy Doku did to them in March, I would not be 100. I would not be super optimistic that the U.S. is able to get a win in that match. But sometimes you need a little bit of luck. Sometimes you need a team to play poorly, and sometimes you need a guy in your team to play fantastic. And so, certainly, I think those, that latter requirement, I think the U.S. is much more capable of that than I thought before the start of the tournament. And I think if you've got an informed striker like a Balogun, I mean, anything's possible. I think they will need a healthy Christian Pulisic. I mean, it was encouraging that the U.S. was able to get that result yesterday without him. But I think if they're really going to achieve their dreams and their goals, I think he needs to be on the field and playing well. And so, it'll be interesting to see what Pochettino does with him as it relates to the Turkey match. I mean, do you sit him to make sure he's 100% healthy, or do you try to get him some touches, in an environment where, it's competitive and it kind of helps keep him sharp. So, that's going to be an interesting decision among many that I think Pochettino has.
That is the wonderfully good friend of the show, Jeff Carlisle from ESPN. Jeff, I hope you're enjoying your traveling with the team and being there for the World Cup games, and we do certainly appreciate you taking time to share your insight with us.
Anytime, guys.
Very good. Travel safe, my friend. We'll speak to you soon. All right, when we come back, we will get into the day of games in the World Cup next on World Cup Kick-Around. Just when you thought you had seen it all with the Japanese, Dutch, Croatian, or English fans, look out, everybody. The RGs are coming to town. We'll talk a lot about that before the end of the show today. Lars, I would like to inquire how your latest adventures with your new friend Alto has been today.
Was good. Very nice ride today. I decided to arrive early down at the studio so that I could watch the Sweden-Netherlands game in peace before we all plan our show. So I was way ahead of time. The Alto showed up. It was very comfortable, nicely air conditioned, all was good.
Have you sussed out any additional features of riding an Alto that have caught you off guard?
I do think this feature of changing the music is very fun. It never really gets old to set. Should I have it calm? Or are we going yeehaw? Are we going something else?
Disco?
You can set the volume too. You can have it full blast loud, or
That
you
I
can
have
just
not
lower
discovered
the
yet.
Yes,
I will do that.
Poor driver.
You're going full yeehaw.
Yeah, you can.
Next time the U.S.
blast
win a
it.
game, when they
Yeah.
beat the hapless Turks,
You'll just
the
be
Alto ride
Freebird
home
at
will be
100.
it'll be full yeehaw.
Nice.
I love it. Yes, Alto has been so kind to haul Lars around while he is in Dallas during this time. You can try Alto. It's a great option for ride sharing. They own all their cars. All their drivers are full-time employees. It's all this like self-contained car service at your disposal. You can get a subscription. You can do it per ride, whatever you'd like to do. Please go check it out over at ridealto.com. Back into the World Cup, lots going on. We've already had a game this morning. We spoke about it earlier. I was all excited because, Sweden was going to give the Netherlands a game, and we were so kind of like put out by how poor the Orange were when we went to go see them in person. Why couldn't they have done this when they played in the first game that we were
they
actually
did.
there
They
for?
showed glimpses. It was the first game of World Cup. You know how that goes.
Not like
they showed
this.
some glimpses. No, they showed their class today
Netherlands
for sure.
5, the Swedes 1.
Yeah, Netherlands showed their class. Sweden, regression to the mean, I think is what you say here. And Michael Dixon, our producer, had a good stat. Sweden became the first team in the history of the World Cup to win a game in group play by 4 goals and to lose a game by 4 or more goals in group play in the same World
That's
Cup.
the first time that's ever happened?
Yeah, right. It's happened before in a
Wow.
World Cup. Denmark won 6-1 in group play and then lost 5-1 in the knockout rounds back in '86.
They're pioneers, the Swedes.
I have a feeling this is going to be a future Andy World Cup quiz question in 2038.
It could be.
Next World Cup is going to wheel that out. and we
2038.
will have
No,
forgotten.
come on. We're going to be listening to whoever's doing the kick around then. So yeah, I mean, I think at least it played out a little bit like not 5-1, but I didn't expect the Dutch to have much of a problem today against the Swedes.
I'm starting to reach the conclusion that early goals are extremely important in this tournament because it just completely shapes everything that happens afterwards and how you play and how you can approach it. And the Dutch here scored early. They scored after 5 minutes. Brian Brobby of Sunderland, who is really... He was going to be the next big thing, the next great Dutch striker, and then it just didn't really happen for him. But this season, after moving to England, he's unlocked something, and he was terrific. I think that goal was... the first goal is such a pure... honestly, if you've got a kid who wants to be a centre forward, who wants to be a striker, sit him down and show him this goal, because it's a long ball up from the back, which Brobby gets on, controls, leaves it out to a teammate, and then he does the thing, but he spins around and immediately just darts for the penalty area. He doesn't stop to look to see how the play develops. He just goes for it because he trusts that his winger's going to get there and the winger's going to put a cross in. Really classic, proper centre forward play from Brian Brobby and a good assist by Gakpo. And once they get that early goal, Sweden's game plan will have been, let's keep this tight.
Yeah.
Let's keep it. Let's try to hit them on the counter. I talked about this yesterday. Let's try to hit them with Isak and Jokers on the counter, and they weren't able to do that. Suddenly they have to go up, and then they expose themselves more. And actually, there's this thing without getting too lost in the weeds with tactics. Sweden play with 3 at the back, as opposed to a lot of most teams. I think play a 4-man back line. And there is a thing that can happen when you play 3 central defenders and wing-backs, is that you end up with this kind of weird space on the outside of the centre halves and behind the wing-back that's not really covered by anyone. And the Netherlands kept hitting that area. Like, I think the first 3 goals all came in that sort of behind the wing-back outside of the centre halves space and crosses into the box. And the Swedes just didn't adjust and couldn't figure out how to deal with it.
May I put a pin in that comment as it relates to the U.S. men's national team as we go further into the tournament? So just keep that in the back of your mind, American fans. The dead open space behind Jedi and Dest that just always appears to be way too frightening so far, but nobody's capitalized on yet. Keep going, Lars. I'm sorry. I just want to throw that in there.
No, it's a good note. And that once they get a 2-0 lead in the 17th minute, Sweden really don't have a lot of cards to play because they're not a great team in possession. Sweden, they have some pretty stout defenders and they've got a couple of good strikers, but yeah, when they have to come out and push, it becomes awkward for them. And the Dutch really, again, not playing typical Dutch football as we would think of it stereotypically. They were quite direct. They're quite a muscular team. It's really their back line and the physicality. That's probably the thing that's the best about them, but they really ran riot here and looked very, very strong. And I really, game after game we are learning this. Getting the early goal, or certainly not conceding the early goal, is a very, very important part of this tournament.
Well, it is obviously worked out well for the Dutch because now they're on 4 points. The Sweden's not out of it. They got 3 points, so they could very much still and probably will end up being a they've got the game against the Japanese next, so depending on how this other game that we'll talk about here coming up. The Germans right now have just kicked off against the Ivory Coast. I think this game is going to be excellent. It's kind of stinks that it's going on while we're on the air.
I don't think Germany beat Curacao 7-1. We were talking about this yesterday. I don't really think we got a good gauge of what Germany has in this World Cup. And Ivory Coast played a very hard-fought match against Ecuador, a very tough defensive team, and prevailed in that match 1-0. So they actually, I think, showed a good start to the World Cup. I think this game's going to be tight. I think I predicted 1-1. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a draw.
Well, Ivory Coast have also thrown out Ahmad and Yan Diamante up front. So that's exciting because I think those might be two of the most exciting young players in the tournament.
Dribbly boys, they are. And I think good dribblers, I think, are going to be really important in this tournament because, again, we've talked about this so many times, I don't want to repeat myself, but I think it's going to be all about moments and who can unlock the packed defenses and all this stuff. So guys who can dribble, set pieces, that kind of stuff. And Amad and Diallo, either flank. And Germany, fullback has been an issue for them for quite a long time. Joshua Kimmich playing at right back, really a central midfielder who's playing there just because they don't have a lot of options. Nathaniel Brown is a promising guy, played for Frankfurt, but maybe not a world superstar on the other side either. So those two guys in the matchup against the Ivorian wingers, I think, is a key battle within the game here.
All right, at 7 o'clock up in Kansas City on Fox, it's Ecuador and Curacao.
Yeah, obviously must win for Ecuador because they have Germany. They finish with Germany in New York. A winnable game. We saw Curacao. Probably the one minnow that has not met that hasn't exceeded our expectations of what a minnow would do. But I still feel like Ecuador has problems scoring goals. They're very good defensively. So this is going to be a good test, Lars. How many can they put on against Curacao? Because if they do advance, if they get a result against Germany and advance either in second or as a wild card, as a best third place, what do they do in the next round in terms of putting goals on the board? Because their defense can only get them so far.
Yeah, I mean, God bless Ener Valencia. He's still around. He's one of the people over in Europe were joking that there's certain players that you only ever see in World Cups, but you see them in every World Cup. It's like the tournament. When you see Ener Valencia jump for a high ball up top for Ecuador, you know the World Cup has started. Similarly with Ricardo Rodriguez, like prowling the left flank of the Swiss national team.
What about Ronaldo missing goals?
Well, but the thing is, he is part of the day-to-day discourse.
Okay.
There are certain guys who.
Unless
you follow the Mexican League, you know, there are guys you never hear about, but they are always there at the World Cup. That would be a fun bingo card to do, actually, as the tournament goes on.
Yeah.
Ener Valencia, classic example. And it's you know, he's not a bad player, but it's interesting to see that because I thought that Ecuador Ivory Coast game really high quality, man. That was good. Both I came obviously Ivory Coast won, but I didn't come out of that thinking Ecuador are actually bad. I'm thinking they're a team to watch, but there is the question of where exactly the goals are coming from.
Ecuador was your dark horse?
A good dark horse. I like that.
One of my dark horses. Yeah. Portugal to the final, I feel, is a dark horse pick, which I regret now, by the way. But
I was going to say.
but the thing is, my dark horse has as many points as an actual horse would have in the tournament, so it's really
Turkey?
not.
Turkey was your dark. Oh my God!
I'm leading the dark horse race with Japan. Yeah. Speaking of the Japanese,
you had Japan
tonight. Late night World Cup is the Tunisians and the Japanese. I don't know if this will also be a banger like all the other late night World Cup games have been. But.
Did the Sweden game today or their performance against the Netherlands show us that Tunisia maybe no muy bueno? bad?
The big question is
Because
they have
Sweden
changed manager mid-tournament. They
Yeah.
have flown in handsome Hervé Renard, who is an extremely handsome man, and I'm really hyped for his signature move was always wearing these extremely tight white shirts on the sideline. I wonder if he's still bringing the white shirts, and also he's. You get these guys in international management. Like, he's never done anything at club level, which many would see as like the high form of the game. He's never done anything in particular there. But he's won the Africa Cup of Nations with Zambia. That was an incredible achievement back in 2012. He's won the Africa Cup of Nations with the Ivory Coast. He was in charge of Saudi Arabia when they beat Argentina. Like, he's been around in various cultures, various places. Seems to have a knack for understanding what these different, African and Middle Eastern cultures.
In 48 hours, can he turn the ship around?
I think I would be motivated. You know what? When Zambia won the Africa Cup of Nations, they won it on a penalty shootout. Now, one of his key defenders had gotten injured during the game. When they were celebrating down by the goal, he actually carried his injured defender from the bench all the way down to that. It was like that film with Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston, the bodyguard.
There is no doubt the guy is a legend. I get it, and he's very handsome. But can he turn this ship around, Tunisia, in 48 hours against the Japanese?
Probably not. But I have this feeling. I think they will make it difficult for the Japanese here. I think I might.
Okay.
I might listen. It's a brave call, given they were completely inept against Sweden. I'm putting a lot of faith in handsome Hervé Renard here. But
if it was a weird thing for the Tunisians to fire managers at odd times, I would probably buy more into it. But considering they've done this now twice in their World Cup history, and I think Hervé Renard is now their sixth manager in the last 24 months.
There's something very strange going on there.
Something's going on there. I'm just kind of hoping Renard appears and like receding hairline, a big old beer belly.
You don't want him to be the
smoking
handsome
butts
man?
like he's lost it or something.
No way. Thing is, he's one of those guys. He would still look handsome even if he did this. he would make it work.
If you look like me. Okay.
This is like you get when movie stars kind of put on a bit of weight for a film and they put on some facial hair or whatever. They still look incredibly handsome. There's nothing you can do about it.
All right, Tunisia and Japan late night World Cup. That game kicks off at 11 down in Guadalajara, and I think it's also on Fox, maybe FS1, one of the two. Check it out. All right, that's what's happening today in the World Cup. We'll take a break, come back, talk about what's happening tomorrow in the World Cup next on the KickAround. Andy asked a World Cup question earlier in the day. The player and team from the 2006 World Cup that hit the most shots without scoring a goal. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
If you think you know the answer, you can find out when we do that before the very end of today's show. Welcome back to World Cup Kick-Around, the big Saturday edition. We'll be back, obviously. Now, we're off tomorrow. Tomorrow's not one of the Sundays we're sprinkling in. We'll be back Monday night at 7 o'clock right after the hard line. All right, let's talk about what's happening tomorrow, Sunday. We got 4 more games. We'll start off with Group H. H. And everybody got all their picks picked up?
Yes. And I have
Lars,
mine.
you got your picks?
I do.
Okay. Wait.
Yeah.
Hold on. Before we do this, I just dawned on me.
Yeah.
Do we need to check in on today's Lars lock that he announced and gave us yesterday? Has that been declared a winner or loser yet? I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember what it was.
It was 2 teams scoring in a particular game, but I don't remember which one it was.
Lars?
We're good. It was Sweden-Netherlands. It landed. It was successful lock.
What's that goal?
The curse has been broken.
The Swedish goal in
Just
the
give
nick
me a
of
pause
time.
there. Yeah, Sweden grabbing a goal. And then they scored, and I was about to write... they scored, and I was about to write something to the group about everything is fine now, and then it was ruled out for offside at first initially, and so it looked like the curse was still going, but Anthony Elanga bailed me out.
But you have a new Lars lock.
Yeah, we are a little gun shy at the moment after a poor run. So, and tomorrow is a difficult day. So I am picking. I can say it straight away. I'm picking Egypt to beat New Zealand. It's not a very punchy bet. The price is moderate. I like to be a little closer to evens on the odds for this sort of stuff. This is a little, but I just think it's a really tricky day from a picking perspective. I think in some ways, if you want value of any kind. New Zealand, Iran was a surprisingly, I would say even weirdly fun game. I was expecting that to be terrible, but that was 2 teams I stand by this. I think New Zealand are not very good, and I think Iran are heavily affected by all the challenges they're facing in their preparation. And that bizarrely turned that into a fun game. But here New Zealand are up against a really solid team in Egypt, and I think it's going to be a tough day for them.
Okay, hold on for that. Let's go back to Group H. I got everybody out of order. Sorry, that's my fault. Let's go back to Group H, and we'll start off with Spain and Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. So the question, Lars, because you talk about the horseshoe of death, Spain's famously horseshoe of death.
Tiki no taka, as Lars says.
Yeah,
tiki no taka.
Which was front and center against Cape Verde. Pre-tournament, I put down 3-1 for the score for this game. I still think Spain, after what happened against Cape Verde, against a Saudi Arabia team, I feel is going to be a little bit more proactive about trying to go get a goal than Cape Verde was. I think this is still a possible score. Is it possible for Spain to score 3 goals in one game, even if it's against Saudi Arabia?
I think once you get the first one, getting 3 is not necessarily a problem. As long as you get the first one early-ish in the game. The problem is if it's still donuts deep into second half, then it gets bad because it is a floodgate situation, right?
Isn't it crazy that we're asking if the tournament favorites, who you pick to win it all, good pick, I mean, a lot of people have, we're asking if, do they have 3 against Saudi Arabia? I mean, this is where we are with them.
As soon as they get the one, they have 3.
Yeah,
I think this is the way it's going to go.
Because it just opens things up.
I think it does, and I think early goals are big in this tournament. For me, the big question is here: how many minutes can they get out of Lamine Yamal? The word from the coach is that he is healthy, he's ready, but this is not the moment to play a full game. So they're being careful with him.
They won't start him then, you don't think?
Doesn't seem like it, no. Okay. Saudi Arabia, they did squeeze out a point against Uruguay, but let's not forget how absolutely dominant Uruguay were towards the end of that game. They were pretty lucky, Saudi Arabia, to get out of there. Spain are quite a lot better than Uruguay. I am expecting them. There is just this sinking feeling of seeing them pass the ball around over and over again and no one trying to break that pattern at all. I do think Yamal and Nico Williams, when they're on the field, will make a big difference. I would also like to see Dani Olmo because he's got a little bit of selfishness in him. He'll try a shot. He'll break the pattern a little bit. Listen, I think they're going to win this game. This would be an almost a bigger upset than Cape Verde for me if they get.
What do you have
again.
The score? What do you think?
I have 3-0 Spain.
I also have 3-0 Spain.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So I have the Saudis scoring a goal somehow,
and that's the morning game at 11 o'clock over in Atlanta. Finish up Group H. It is Uruguay and Cape Verde. That's at 5 o'clock in the lovely weather down in Miami on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. Uruguay, Bielsa's Uruguay, I had him winning this game pre-tournament. I still do. I think the 1-0 scoreline I had predicted pre-tournament, sticking with. I have to because that's the rules we're playing by, right? So, but I can see this as a 1-0 game. Cape Verde, I mean, the goalkeeper had to stand on his head ultimately. I know we make fun of Spain and their horseshoe of death, but that was quite the performance by their keeper as well, Lars. So,
yeah, it was incredible.
I don't know if you can do that in back-to-back games. This is in hockey. Hockey goalkeeper can ride the team through the playoffs.
Hockey?
Yeah, but, I think Uruguay breaks through. And
the wholesome news there is that the goalkeeper for Cape Verde, who he wasn't able to get his mother to attend the first game because they had visa issues. They have apparently figured out the visa issues, and his mother will now be in attendance.
That's awesome.
Which is good news.
Mommy should be at your World Cup game.
Yeah,
I have this down as a 2-1 win for Uruguay. I think a little bit panic stations for them after dropping points against the Saudis, but the quality's going to... Yeah. Is this not the juke, as you say? Like, we had some surprises in the first round, but then kind of quality reasserts itself a little bit in the second round of games.
We're not falling for the juke is what you're saying.
No, we're not.
Yeah,
we're
exactly. Yep.
I also have it 1-0 to the Uruguay. 1-0. All right,
Bielsa.
Group G, starting at 2 o'clock. It is the David Mino lookalike and Kevin De Bruyne, Belgium versus Iran in L.A., FS1. Iran, once again, complaining about their situation a lot.
Yeah, they are.
Getting in and out of the country stuff.
They haven't been dealt a good hand with all this. When it's all said and done, at the end of the day, and I think some of this stems from them trying to change things a little bit last minute, but it's because they couldn't have it a certain way when they were planning things early on, and now that things are a little bit more flexible, FIFA is like, no, you can't change it last minute. I think that's where we are with things. So it does hurt a little bit. I believe that sometimes situations like this can bond a team, can make them stronger, us against the world mentality. I don't know if Lars buys into that as much as I do. Probably doesn't buy into it at all. I still think Belgium wins this game. Belgium didn't look awesome their first match. I think it's a 2-1 game. I think Iran, they're a decent side that can do a little something in this game.
I would buy into it more if they didn't have this additional problem, which is that a large part of their squad play in the domestic league, which for obvious reasons hasn't been running since February, which means they have a lot of guys in there who are nowhere near match fitness.
Rusty.
And I think that makes it not feasible for them to really put in. When you have the additional logistical issues, I don't see how you can put in a proper performance there. And Belgium were deeply unimpressive against Egypt. Not great at all,
right,
the Belgians,
yeah.
I have to say. But I would still expect them to get the job done here. Interesting to see if Lukaku starts. Because while Lukaku is getting on a little bit, he's not the player he used to be. He's had injury issues, yada, yada, yada. He did give them much more of a focal point when he came on against Egypt.
It was like 13 seconds and he scored.
Yeah.
I don't know,
It
17 seconds.
made a big difference when he was on there.
So you have him winning, but by what kind of score?
I do have them winning. And I have them winning by, I got it.
I have it 3-1.
3-1.
Good one. I got them winning by 2-0.
I will point out that over at my favorite place to follow such things on the internet, and it's in form of an app, FOTMob, their predicted lineup for Belgium shows that their average, would you like to guess the average age of the predicted starting 11 for this game for Belgium?
From Belgium?
Well, that means that's Lukaku in or not? Question.
That's a little
Lukaku, yeah, Lukaku is starting in this lineup.
Okay, I
don't think it's that high, actually, is it?
Guess.
Because they've got a couple of guys who are younger.
What's your number?
29.2.
What's your number?
27?
It is 30.4.
How?
Lukaku at 33.
Yeah.
Vanekin 33. De Bruyne 34. Mekele 33.
You think Hans Van Aken is starting?
That's what the FOTMob says. Courtois 34. Meunier 34. Wow. That would be the oldest team so far in the tournament yet at this point.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And then last but not least, Lars, and just so we make this official, because I believe I'm correct in saying that
Yes.
this is Lars's lock of the day.
Hey, there we go. Yeah, we're doing it.
New Zealand and Egypt.
Yes. I think the fact that New Zealand-Iran was a competitive game, for me, reflects more all the problems Iran are having, more than New Zealand being better than expected. I think they're not a very strong side. I mean, they lost 4-0 to Haiti in a warm-up game. They don't really have a lot of serious high-level experience in the group. Obviously, Chris Wood is up there. he is a weapon of sorts. But Egypt, a lot of experience in that group, and they have two genuine top-level talents up top in Salah and Omar Marmoush. I think they'll get the job done here against New Zealand. It's not the most punchy pick I'll make all summer, but it's a tricky day.
Tight game, or do you have it by more than a goal?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to break in drama. There is World Cup drama happening right now. Lots and lots of... The Ivory Coast has scored to take a 1-0 lead over the Germans.
Talking about.
That is some World Cup drama
That's
right
what I'm
there.
Talking about.
Who was it that scored?
Frank Kessié.
Kessié, all
Yeah,
right.
solid midfielder.
What score do you have New Zealand? So I can basically write it down on my spreadsheet, Lars.
Yeah, so I do have them winning by 2-0 in my
That's what I have as
thing.
well.
Yeah.
And Peter?
We're
talking Egypt, New Zealand.
Yes, thank you. I have the Egyptians winning 2-0.
That's all three of us, 2-0. Okay.
Wow. We're all great minds that think alike. Okay, there is Sunday wrapped up in a little bag. When we come back, we'll try and take a look at a couple of the games that are going to happen before we go on the air Monday, and we'll let you get an update on Germany, Ivory Coast. We'll do that next on World Cup Kick-Around. This was always going to be the downside of doing the radio show. Was that we're going to end up trying to do the show when some really good World Cup games are going on. Right now, Germany and the Ivory Coast are absolutely going at it.
No, not the downside of doing the radio show. The downside of FIFA giving us 8 different time slots throughout the whole day. That's why we were bound to.
Thanks a lot, Infantino. Man, this looks like I wish I was watching this game. Thank God I'm saving it on the the cloud, wherever that is, so I can go back and watch it later.
Because you haven't watched enough soccer. Actually, this game is worth watching.
Yeah, I have to say, I was about to say, this is one of the games that actually I probably
actually
would.
one you want to. Yes.
By the way, if you're not paying attention, the Ivory Coast is winning this game already, 1-0 over the Germans. And the Germans do not look very comfortable.
They do not.
I think we're going to learn a lot about Germany, way more than we did when they beat Curacao by a whole bunch of goals, a week ago. So there you go.
Hey, by the way, real quick, Tunisia and Japan play in Monterrey, not Guadalajara.
Thanks, Andy.
Sorry.
You're always trying to just correcting me.
I said you can correct it at the top of the next the previous segment, and you didn't. So now I had to interject.
Maybe I hadn't gotten to it yet.
No, you weren't going to get to it. Admit it.
Maybe I had forgotten. Was it really that important?
Yeah, because one is in altitude, one is not.
Oh, okay.
For those that are trying to
Damn
handicap
it, I hate
the game,
it when
right,
Andy's
Lars?
always right. He's right all the time.
No.
Stop being right all the time,
No,
Andy.
No, we need Andy to be right all the time.
True.
You and me are goofing around enough as it is, Peter.
True
Come on,
enough.
we need an anchor for
Lars.
the
All
show.
right. We've been through a whole bunch of games that are going to take place between the time we next do a show, which will be Monday night. But there are two more, and one of which includes the big game that's going to happen here on, I can't imagine, a noon game in Arlington on a workday Monday that involves Argentina.
Argentines trying to go to the stadium in the middle of rush hour in the morning on a Monday. I think the locals.
That seems like it's going to work
we're
out
prepared. We are cognizant that rush hour is tricky. Some people might leave home a little later and let that crowd get to the stadium. But
and you've announced that you are now going to attempt something.
I think Monday morning I will. This is the plan. Remember, you had the plan too, and you switched.
I chickened out.
You switched last minute. No, but I'm going to try to go to this match in particular on the train with lots and lots of Argentinians, and I'm going to give myself lots of time.
All right. Well, it is.
And I'll report back, Peter.
Yes. After his magical hat trick, Messi and the Argentines are in Dallas Monday to play Ralph Ragnick's Austria.
Yeah.
And I think this game lines up really interestingly.
Yeah. And prior to the tournament, I had a draw because I believed in the Austrian press. I thought Argentina, and this game's indoors. The heat's not an issue. That Argentina is going to be kind of pacing Messi a little bit in his minutes. So I had it down as 1-1. But, man, Lars, Argentina looked really good that first game.
They look really good. I had it down as 1-0 Argentina for much the same reasons. Like, I thought they'd get there, but I think it's going to be difficult. I think it's an interesting, clash of styles here. It's not that Argentina don't press, but they're more patient. They'll do it occasionally, but they're also happy to put their foot on the ball and slow the game down a little bit. I wonder if Austria will be able to disrupt them. I wonder if Argentina can actually they're so skillful, maybe they'll just play through the press. There's a lot of interesting scenarios in this game. I think this is set up to be just a terrific game of football.
Yes, and, if you've ever paid any attention to a Ralph Ragnick team, boy, Austria really demonstrated that in their first game earlier. Going on. I have this game ending up, which one is this? Yeah, I'm sorry. I have it as a 3-1 Argentina win, but I also predicted that before I had forgotten Ralph Ragnick was running the team. And I just love his teams because they press high, they work really hard, he really demands a lot out of his sides. But I am with you. Argentina may be that one side that's super skilled enough to play through the press.
Really interesting question. How is Messi managed in this game? I think that's worth raising on the floor because they've got 3 points on the board, and they got Jordan in the last game.
Yeah,
so if you're Argentina, you're feeling pretty confident about winning this group now.
Yeah, well, I think you go for it this game, and you do play Messi.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get the 3 points, then you're in great shape without him against Jordan.
Or you rest him against potentially overly physical Austrians, and make sure you're gonna paddle Jordan in the last game anyway.
I would say this: head to head is the new tiebreaker. And Austria would be the team they're competing for first place, essentially. So you do need a result against Austria, and you're better off getting the 6 points that way and then resting against Jordan to ensure first place.
And at the day, isn't ultimately it's Messi's choice whether he starts?
That's a very fair
good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
And he might just want it.
This is what we're going to do, Coach.
He might just want it for rhythm and for numbers
right.
and all this sort of stuff.
Actually, The best point of the day.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Peter.
it's like what do you?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. What do you want to do, Mr.
No,
Messi?
but you could also sit him down and say, listen, let's look after your body a little bit here. It's
Yeah.
going to be a long tournament.
You think Messi's listening to that while he's
I think Messi's
playing with
probably
his Legos or whatever he's doing?
Oh, important thing to point out, by the way. This game, he's tied for the all-time leading
Goal scorer?
in
Yeah.
World Cup history. His next goal, he'll break the record. He'll be first all-time on his own. So he can do it here. The next game is in Dallas as well. So we have 2 shots at
That'd be kind of cool if that happened.
Making
in
history.
the old
Yep.
DF Dub. Okay, that game is Monday at noon again at Jerry World. It's pretty fantastic. And then at 4 p.m. before we go on the air, it is the French versus Iraq. That game is in Philly, also on Fox.
Well,
I have this one 3-0, and I'm not sure that
Same.
I've given enough.
You have it the same, Lars? Yeah. And we all picked, that's the score we all gave this game prior to the tournament. Before, I thought Iraq was going to be really bad. I guess they showed a little bit better in the first game, Lars.
I'm hoping that's what happened because they certainly made it more complicated for us Norwegians than I was hoping. I thought they did a really good job in identifying which players to press and what to do. I thought they were really well prepared. I just wonder I think against France, the talent deficit is so big that I don't think it really matters how well they're prepared. I just think the question is whether France decide to play all their guys. And 3 points in the hand is better than, the injury-free players on the ceiling or whatever the saying is.
Bushes.
But they do play Norway next.
Wait, hold on. Is this another quaint Norwegian saying you just threw out?
No, it's on the roof. That's where the bird is. Bird in the hand is better than many on the roof or something. Not
on
in
the
bushes.
roof.
Yeah.
Birds on the roof?
Yeah.
We have
That's where the
bird
birds
in the hand, 2 in the bush is what we say here.
Yeah, but they're often on the roof. That's often where you find the birds.
I guess they are on the bush or
Makes
on the
more
roof,
sense.
in the air.
It's a much
on
more
the
logical
tree.
saying.
Yeah, in the cage.
I can't argue with you.
Yeah.
I haven't. It's dawned on me as I was looking at this. So the P1s need to know we all use this really great bracket website before the tournament started called Group of Death. It's groupofdeath.gg, and it's been our favorite tool to kind of track all of our predictions and see all this stuff. It's a great website. The schedule, the whole thing. But it dawned on me as I was looking at this, the biggest score differential I think I predicted, because in this you have to predict every result down to the score for all the games to finish it out. So it's time consuming. I think the biggest score I gave anybody was 3 goals. We've had a game with 7, a game with 6. Did you pick any games?
You said Netherlands 4-0 today.
Okay, so 4 would be the greatest. Yeah. So did you pick any games with more than a team scoring more than 4 goals?
Probably not. No.
Lars?
No.
I'm just scanning through. No, I think 4 was the highest.
Yeah.
I did as well.
We've had a 7, a 6. Have we had a 5 in this tournament yet?
Yes. 5-1 today.
Okay. Oh, that's
5-1
right.
5-1 Tunisia, Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a few 5s.
Excellent.
It's been a good tournament. It's been a high-scoring tournament. It's been fun.
It has been fun. Excellent. Okay, so France and Iraq, that one I'm sure will be a big-time fun for all the French fans. It will be nothing like the bus.
Shouldn't sell the hide before you shot the bear.
I love it.
True.
By the way, this always gives me an opportunity to remind everybody, if you are a Netflix subscriber, please, Andy gave me this gift of watching The Bus.
Yes.
Which is the story of the 2010 French team and the implosion of that team back in that World Cup. It is such a good watch. I can't recommend it anymore.
And then you can marvel at the fact that someone at some point looked at Raymond Dominic and thought, yeah, he should be in charge of an international football team like that. Seems like a very rational, seems like a rational and reasonable man.
For more than one tournament, Lars.
Yes. This is a coach who, when they went out disappointingly at the Euros, he spontaneously proposed to his girlfriend in the post-match interview because he thought it'd lighten the mood. He didn't get fired.
If I haven't overhyped it enough, let me just include the whole premise of this thing is that this guy that we're really giving a hard time to opened up his diary to the producers of this documentary, and they literally take out entire sections of his diary and explain the madness behind him.
The diary actually makes him game look worse, though, which
I
makes
know.
it even
Yes,
more
that's the
inexplicable.
point. Yeah.
That's so insane.
But can you also just imagine if, like, this isn't going to happen, but if the US, like, went out disappointingly to Bosnia in the round of 32 and everyone's very unhappy.
What?
And
What?
and Pochettino decides in the
How
post
did we get here?
and Pochettino decides in the post-match interview that this is the time to propose to his girlfriend just to lighten up the mood. Like, do you think he's in a job 5 minutes later? Like
No, he's off to AC Milan anyway. 5 minutes after they.
Yeah, but like
But wait, is that your lock of the round of 32? Bosnia to beat the. Okay.
I just said okay.
He was just using it as an
Oh,
example
okay,
to set
man.
up the scenario.
I even
I
said
get what he was
I
doing.
even said you're being very like prickly now. I even said this isn't going to happen. I think I said. Very sensitive. Very
Everybody
sensitive.
needs to go watch that. Absolutely. All right. We will come back. We'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll do our final segment, which will include the answer to Andy's World Cup question next on World Cup Kick-Around. All right. We're at halftime as the Ivory Coast, I think. Is the Ivory Coast leading at halftime
1-0
donut over Germany a surprise? I don't
Oh,
think
a surprise? I had this game as 1-1. I think they're a decent side, and I don't think Germany is the superpower Germany that we've seen in.
Germans have had their
World Cup
chances.
I think we've consistently flagged up Germany as like of the biggest dogs. They are the ones we're not confident about.
That's me. Some people have said Brazil is that one, but you and I agree, right?
yeah.
That it's Germany, I think?
Yeah.
Before we finish up the show, I want to relate it to the U.S. men's national team. I don't think this is going to come as a surprise to anybody, but we're already starting to see reports and stories that the ticket sales for the U.S. men's national team in San Francisco for the round of 32 on July 1st at 7 o'clock Dallas time, 5 p.m. San Francisco time, have shot up in price on the third-party vendors by 60%.
Wow.
And the average ticket price now currently for that game, what is the get-in price for that? Currently is at $1,912, and it's just going to go up from there. I'm
So I guess
sure.
the silver lining here, if you're a Turkish super fan and you were pretty confident in a group win and you got those tickets ahead of time, just hold on.
No, that's
on.
for the
Sorry.
round of 32.
Sorry, I am incorrect. The current get-in price for that game is now $3,162.
Yes.
He's
Well,
talking
this-
about the round of 32.
Yes, me too.
Oh, okay.
The Turks, if
Yeah.
they thought they were going to win the group,
Got it. Yeah.
so they bought that one expecting to get it.
Right.
But they probably
and you can
bought
sell
it
it and
Yeah.
buy a
And
new house.
That's right. Yeah, they'll make a lot of money
Or
off
pay
that
for
deal.
your other tickets and
We
break
should
even.
probably also say, because I've seen this a lot online in the last week or so, and I can't tell how much of this is just people trying to make content for clicks' sake, but people claiming that they bought tickets on StubHub or SeatGeek only to get to the stadium and find out they'd been duped and they were fake.
Yeah.
Now, those people, because they bought them on those platforms, will get their money back.
Yeah.
But they also probably flew here from another country or traveled quite a ways, and they're super disappointed. That's why when people ask me what they should do, I say, look, as much as it may pain you, you may want to limit yourself to the FIFA official reseller hub if you're going to go that route.
As
Because-
somebody that has had to speak publicly about it, that's what I've said.
Yeah.
That that's our public stance, and this is why.
And it's not because you're just trying to funnel money to FIFA.
no.
It's because the other ways of doing it don't have all the protections in place to ensure that you're getting an actual thing.
Yeah.
You may get your money back, but that's not going to make you any less disappointed or
Right.
feel like you've been violated. So just keep that in mind. But, yeah, they're going to go up. Now, I would also say in the inverse, the third game with Turkey in L.A., coming up, those are down 22%.
Are they?
Yeah.
So go see your national team for 22%
you know why?
less.
About
You know
to
why?
say.
You know why, Lars? Because they're being played in L.A. and San Francisco. It's not that long of a drive. Why spend the money to go watch a meaningless game, which you could dump it in to go watch them play in a round of 32?
Okay.
That's what I would think. That kind of makes me think.
Yeah.
If you're going to spend
Watching
money
what's
to
your-
buy a ticket on the third party, why wouldn't you go to the
Yeah, and
important game?
in general, I don't judge anyone who looks at the prices and just thinks this is too much.
Plus,
That's
the
kind of
Turks are
my-
probably not going to go to that game now also. So those tickets that would have been bought by Turkish fans for that game, if it would have been meaningful, are not in the market anymore.
I'm a big believer in that. Even if you're passionate about something, you should be like a conscious consumer. And if a price is not something you think it should be, then don't pay it. I think that's how these things are. Like I can say this. You two very graciously said to me, if I want to fly up to the northeast and go to a Norway game, then you'd give me time off from the show. But I just think it costs too much. Like, I'm extremely passionate about this team, but I don't like being taken advantage of.
And that is the beauty of consumerism in the United States. You don't have to do anything.
Plus,
That's consumerism everywhere, Peter.
Oh, well, I only know about
that's
you.
called capitalism, and it's good everywhere.
I know this
the
place.
concept works the same.
I do
anywhere.
know this country is the center of the universe, but come
I
on,
only know
guys.
my country, Lars. I've never lived anywhere
that is
else.
Where it works.
I'll have you know that Indonesia, they actually force you to go to certain sporting events whether they want you or not.
But that's not
Really?
capitalism.
No, I made that up. Of course
Oh.
they don't. Nobody
Wow.
does
I
that.
was like,
Well,
well, they do in North Korea.
Actually,
In North Korea?
we've had that conversation, Lars. Yeah, in some places they might, but actually they don't force you; they pay you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it. All right, so Monday's a big day around here. One of the cool things about being at the radio station down here in Victory Plaza is we're across the street from the W, which is a hotel that the World Cup has tied to teams traveling in to play here in Dallas. So we've seen the Japanese, the Croatians.
That's it. We've had 2 games.
Is that it? Oh, yeah. Okay.
So we're expecting the Austrians, if they keep the same hotel dynamic going, and they should be arriving today. They hadn't arrived by the time we started the show.
But we're already seeing the Argentine fans. I was seeing them as early as yesterday.
Yeah. They're milling about. I saw some as I was heading into the studio. They were scouting by foot where they're going to go on Monday to catch the train. Because it's right here at Victory where you catch the train to go to the stadium. Some were eating at an establishment not too far from here during lunch. And then they have an event called a banderazo this afternoon, which is where all the supporters gather.
I love it when Andy breaks into his native tongue.
I'm not going to say banderazo because it's not a term that you're expecting to hear, so I might as well say it the right way. They're going to have it at Clyde Warren.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this afternoon.
What is a banderazo?
A banderazo is when the supporters all gather.
Can we clip that?
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah, exactly. When they all gather, bandera is flag, so that the big flags come out and they just celebrate. It's like a pep rally. Same thing.
It's an Argentine pep rally.
It's an Argentine pep rally.
Are there like
But I'm
pegs
sorry,
on
it's
stick?
not today. That one is tomorrow.
Okay.
For the game on Monday.
All right.
So that'll happen at Clyde Warren. But it's kind of cool to see. You know, we've already had the Dutch, and the Japanese, and the English arrive and.
I will say, I can't tell you how many people who aren't necessarily soccer fans that have made comments to me that has been one of the favorite things that they have paid attention to over the last week or so, is just this crazy influx of different cultures and countries and fans that have all kind of paraded around, and the footage, it's really been remarkable.
And you've had to drive through town, Lars, in your Alto, so like you've noticed, we are a very spread out community.
Yes, for sure.
Because there are other big cities that are more compact than we are. We're called the Metroplex for a reason. So we don't even have the full effect of we could have the same amount of people in our Metroplex, and it won't feel the same as it would in a smaller like Philadelphia, for example. That is just as big a city, but it's more compact,
right?
And you feel that presence a little bit more. So here, they won't get out to the suburbs. Those out there won't feel it, but those that are downtown and city core and all that, you see it. Obviously, Fort Worth, we've seen images.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Cowtown, because you have to go get your Cowtown in. So yeah, it's been cool.
I think my favorite footage so far were the English fans at the rodeo.
Yeah, riding the bull.
No,
at
the rodeo.
Yes.
No, at the rodeo.
Yeah.
That was remarkable.
Yeah. Not at Billy Bob's, the rodeo, right.
Did you see that footage, Lars?
No, but that's exciting.
Should we take Lars to the rodeo?
Perhaps we have such a long list of things. We're waiting for the knockout rounds, P1s. It's not like we don't want to take them places, but we're watching a lot of soccer. Lars, you have like 5 games to watch a day.
There's
right?
8 hours of football a day. You do run out of days.
We have a dead day. We've marked it on the calendar.
We're going to the zoo.
For the kick-around appearance at the zoo. I don't think we're going to say it officially yet until what day that is.
Do you think there'll be like hordes of kick-around enthusiasts wanting to go to the zoo with us?
Man, would that not make...
Oh, that would be awesome.
Wouldn't it be cool if
all the P1s go to the zoo?
Go to the zoo on a particular day, take the work day off.
We have
look at your calendar on a dead
a
day
pending Rangers game as well. We have a pending trip out to Fort Worth. I am going to take you, Lars. We just need a day where we have, a few hours to set aside. We've trying to do food. We've done barbecue and steak with Lars before.
It's been very good.
It's fun to see them talk about food, those that come in. By the way, go ahead.
I was going to about food.
Yes.
Because, Lars, when you came here the last time, I took you to my favorite Tex-Mex spot.
It was good.
Okay, see, I thought you were being polite, and you
He was.
decided you weren't super jazzed on. Just because you don't like Tex-Mex, don't put that juju
we
on
went
me.
to Tex-Mex. We had our
went to Tex-Mex the other day.
margaritas
It was
and had
good.
our nachos and fajitas.
Had
and
some fish taco. It was
fish
lovely.
tacos.
For
See,
some
that's
reason,
the
I
kind-
thought you didn't dig Tex-Mex when you were here last time.
If I may.
No, let Lars speak
You
for
may not.
himself. Did you enjoy the
Yes,
Tex-Mex?
I did.
Would you like to go back for more Tex-Mex?
Sure.
I think he likes barbecue and beef better.
Yeah,
And
but he's
fish.
also Tex-Mex isn't.
I'm
super,
just being very polite in Norwegian. It's also because I am attempting to stay sort of vaguely healthy this summer, and a lot of the best Tex-Mex things are not in the healthy bracket.
Okay.
That's why we're kind of being strategic about where we go eat.
You were complaining before he got here that you were worried he wasn't going to imbibe and enjoy the
Yes,
fine
but
foods.
I am finding the balance.
Yeah, we're finding a good balance.
Paradoxically,
Peter.
having
we know how to do this.
Paradoxically, having absolutely no free time is actually making that easier.
Yes, and we pick our moments,
Not a
and then
paradox,
we go for it. One thing, the ranch dressing thing, I want to comment on that because. We got all the social media hype about how the Dutch and the Brits couldn't get enough
And they're
ranch dressing.
stealing it and trying to take it on the airplane.
So just remember that they're not known for their culinary culture.
Who?
The Dutch and the Brits.
it's true.
So they're gonna, like when the Argentines come. Well, they're carnivores. They're just gonna eat beef. they're gonna eat all the Texas steak and barbecue. And they're gonna love it, by the way, because it's great. I wonder what the French and the Spaniards, if they play that
See,
semifinal.
you brought this up
game.
yesterday.
Qu'est-ce que c'est, le ranch?
Yes, I think it'll be interesting to see what they think. They're going to like the barbecue. You can't not like our steak, right?
100%.
Yeah,
Yes,
so,
but
yeah.
when it comes to things like ranch dressing,
they're-
that is the thing that they'll go,
Yeah, they will. Exactly like that.
But Peter, you can confirm that I had ranch for, as far as I'm aware, the first time I came to visit you. I do think we went to one of the restaurants we went to. I was like, what is this? And you laughed a lot because it was ranch and I had not had it before.
That's right. My wife and I really enjoyed, but I don't remember what your reaction to ranch dressing was.
I thought it was good. I thought it was different.
Okay.
It's not a bad
You
taste.
know, the thing, the problem with ranch is that there's a wide spectrum of ranch
Exactly
in
what
terms
I-
of quality.
Yes.
And you could walk into a place and have something that they call ranch, and it is ass.
Yes.
And then you can go someplace else that has proper, well-made,
That they whip
created,
up- yes.
whipped up ranch, and you're like, oh my gosh, please bathe me in this.
High five.
All right.
High
see,
five, Peter.
I'm not the food
High
idiot
five.
you think I am.
No,
so.
I don't think that at all.
So the recommendation that I got from Tara over on the Wolf was to go for the Wingstop ranch. That it was good at the
Okay,
Wingstop.
suddenly, are we
place.
judging Tara from the Wolf now on her ranch
I'm just
judgment?
saying, this is not a secret. This was said on air, I think.
Well, no, I'm just saying sometimes people. Okay, yeah, I don't want to move any further.
Or is there
with that.
ranch wars going on?
No, but how about this, Lars? Let me put it in your vernacular. If somebody said to you they were really into Manchester City, they had just gotten into football, and they
Okay.
were really big Man City fans, would you judge them for that?
No, because they'll buy my book.
No.
Oh.
Please, dear listeners, support Manchester United and buy my book.
By the way, Tex-Mex too. That's the trio of the cuisine from Texas, which is
100%.
good. Yeah,
Yes,
which is good and
100%.
tasty and-
By the way, Lars, we've never promoted your book since you've been on here. What is your
I'm
book?
not a big self-promoter. I'm
Do
very
it.
bad at this.
Promote it. I'm giving you an opportunity.
Okay, so I wrote a biography of Erling Haaland. It is just called Holland. If you look for my name in Holland, you will find it in all good and some evil bookstores. It's I think it's pretty
So
good.
Google Lars
It's got-
and Holland,
yes.
and you will find the book. Perfect.
It got shortlisted for Football Book of the Year. The year it came out in the UK, which I
Don't
suppose
laugh at
is
it.
No, when he says evil bookstores, I get in my mind
It's
it's some sort of like gothic bookstore that sells,
No, it's bookstores.
pornography
It's
and
bookstores that
torture
sell
books or
books that of
snuff
views
films.
that shouldn't be.
I know what he
Right,
meant.
yeah.
Yes, we all know what he meant.
Also, you can get if you prefer audiobooks, it's me doing the read. It's
Oh,
on
did you do
Audible.
the read?
Actually,
Yeah, on
that would be
Audible,
quite
that's me, yeah,
interesting.
Well, is it in English or
Yeah.
in Norwegian?
Would I be recommending it to the P1s if it was in Norwegian?
That might be entertaining.
That would be the way to do it, man. The audiobook with Lars reading.
I got a suggestion. You have done the English version. Why don't you let me do the Norwegian audiobook?
That I would pay for. Peter reads things in Norwegian.
That would be
if
something.
we
I
really
would
run
pay
out of
just to
material
hear
this
that.
summer,
All
we're
right,
just going to have Peter reading Norwegian
You know what?
stuff.
Let's start a new bit. What is Lars's Norwegian word of the day?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Right off the top of my head?
Yeah, just pick a word and we'll all learn a Norwegian word. How to say it in Norwegian.
Rumpetol.
Umpatol.
It's a tadpole.
Umpatol.
Rumpetol.
Umpatol.
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 Yeah.
Umpatol.
I'm
Tadpole.
not sure why that came to mind.
That is a weird one for you to come up with.
Tadpole.
Yeah, sometimes you
Umpatol.
think of tadpoles. Yeah.
Today, I was walking by the creek and I saw a bunch
Giant.
of umpatol.
Or a giant.
It's an
umpatol.
R in there.
Huh?
Rumpetol.
Umpatol.
Okay. This is not good radio anymore.
No, it's not
Okay.
anymore. Okay,
All right.
very good.
Arguably, it never was. All right.
Okay.
But the audiobook version of my book is quite good, and you also get to answer the question.
Oh, yeah.
Am I
Stop
doing
that. Stop.
Do you
The
think
music is
Do you
stopped.
think I do voices when I do quotes of people? Because this is the discussion we had to have during the recording process. Should we do accents when we're doing quotes?
Yes, 100%. Before we go, let's do the question.
You started the outro music before.
Yes,
It's
well,
'cause-
you know.
Do you feel this, Andy?
It's 'cause
Name the player that has the record for the most shots in a game in a World Cup game without scoring a goal, and the team. Both happened in 2006. Let's start with the team first. Any guesses? Any guesses?
I have a
team-
theory. Do we have time for me to explain my theory?
Sure, 31 shots in 2006 and didn't score a goal in that game.
So my whole thing is that I think you take a lot of these dumb shots if you're not playing well. So I'm looking for a team that had a lot of ball, that wasn't functioning as a unit. 2006. I'm thinking England.
Okay. Peter?
I tend to think that your questions always deal with a team that we've talked about over the course of the show. So
Well, it's Turkey. It's based on Turkey. Because
Oh, so it's
no,
Turkey.
no.
Oh.
No. Turkey had that game last night. That's why I'm asking this question. Yeah, the answer doesn't
so
involve
is it
Turkey.
the United States?
No, it would be Portugal against England.
Okay.
Against England
Whoa.
in the game in 2006. The player with the record, he also played in that game with the most shots, didn't score. Who was it?
Cristiano.
No, that was your guess too. I knew you were looking at me like that.
That would have been funny.
One Frank Lampard.
Oh, of course. But it was England then. Okay.
Yes, it was that same game.
Okay.
He wasn't on the team that has the record.
I get it. Okay.
Individually, he has the record.
Fascinating.
I
Yeah.
just didn't understand the question.
Yes.
Why?
This was an advanced level question.
Okay.
If this
He
was like
played
the
in that
hard
game.
level.
He played in that
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
He didn't necessarily play for that team.
When you go to Andy's World Cup question app, you go to the hard level, that's what you get right there.
I don't know. I gave you the year. Pretty easy. It was a little bit of a trick because everybody's going to assume it was Ronaldo.
I'm pretty sure I didn't understand the question.
AI has ruined you out of this job anyway, Andy.
I thought the player
Coming
was
hard.
playing for England. I don't know. There's no time for this.
Man, I have wasted so much time. We were
There's
running
soccer
so
to
late.
watch.
I'm going to get a bad email
much.
from somebody. All
Lampard has the record too for all
Very
time.
good. By the way, it is still 1-0 in the 53rd minute, the Ivory Coast over Germany. Thanks to Will Connerly for doing the tickers, Dixon for producing, and Dylan for being awesome and running the board. P1s, we are off tomorrow, believe it or not. We will be back Monday night at 7 right here on the Kick-Ass Ticket. See you then.